You guys, so 5-4 is how it ends between Barcelona and Benfica. And when I tell you that this is the most dramatic, most chaotic, most incredible game I have seen from Barcelona in a long time, wow. They went and did a whole remontada. They did a whole remontada. They snatched all 3 points from the jaws of defeat, and we cannot talk about it enough. Before I talk about Barcelona, I have to give kudos to Benfica. They played a magnificent game. Benfica, from the very first, kickoff of the match, they were on it. They scored within the first two minutes of the match against Barcelona, and you could tell that this was going to be a long night. They knew that they needed all 3 points, and they came for it. The Benfica defender, who was tagged with Lamine Yamal, he was magnificent, and not just that, he kept on bullying Lamine Yamal on that left flank. Lamine Yamal was not having any joy whatsoever. In that first half, Barcelona were not able to string passes together. They looked rattled, and I wouldn't blame them for looking rattled, because come on, Benfica had scored 3 goals in and stunned them very quickly. Granted that some of the goals that Benfica scored were due to Barcelona's own negligence, and I'm looking at you, Chesney, but that's a different video for a different time. But yeah, so Barcelona didn't look particularly good in that first half. They looked rattled. They weren't stringing passes together. And to compound everything, Lamine Yamal was not having the best game. Robert Lewandowski was not having the best game. Yes, he did score Barcelona's penalty, which they got in the first half to bring them into it. But, subsequent things happened. Rafinha missed the golden sitter to at least give Barcelona an opportunity for a fighting chance before going into the half. And at the halftime, when it was 3-1, I want to say I never really believed that Barcelona were going to come into it. I am a Barcelona fan, don't get me wrong. I am always going to support this team, but looking at the way they were playing and judging from what we were seeing, it just seemed like too much of an ask. And I was okay with it. I can't even lie. I was okay with Barcelona not getting all 3 points. The reason being, we were sitting second in the league table. We had done enough. In my opinion, at the time, I felt like we had done enough to, qualify in those automatic positions. So losing this game wasn't the worst thing that could happen to Barcelona at this point, in the Champions League phase. So I was not really too worried about it. But if you had told me at that point that there were still, let's say, 4 more goals in this game for Barcelona, I would have said bullshit. Why? Because how? From where and how? Because the team that were playing, they were not really playing. And so when we come back in the second half and Rafinha scored that freak header, let me tell you, this game, if you haven't watched this game or you didn't watch this game, I would just ask you to just go watch the highlights, because ain't no way I'm going to be able to describe all of this to make sense, because that Rafinha header, I don't know how much he knew about it. Like, it seemed to me like the keeper was trying to clear the ball. He cleared the ball right into his head, and it was like the power for it to just go pew into the net is like. And so at that point, I was like, okay, the gods are like, out. Let's take it. Let's go. And what do we go and do? We also go and do our own blunder on the other end, because, of course, like Araujo was the scorer own goal. And I'm not going to lie, at that point, I was like, it's not out there. We haven't really been playing well. It's okay. If we lose, we lose. It's not that bad. Everything's going to be okay. But why? Tell me why. Tell me why. Just when I was about to like quit, Barcelona get another penalty through Lewandowski. We scored that, and I'm like, a draw wouldn't be bad. A draw wouldn't be bad, a draw wouldn't be bad. Eric Garcia scores, and I'm like, can I be greedy? Is it okay? I mean, the Lord, as a Christian, the Lord doesn't, like greed and everything, but is there room for one more? And I know that the last goal by Rafinha, when Barca, let me tell you, her last goal is so chaotic, and I know that a lot of think pieces are going to be written about it. Was it a penalty for Benfica? Was it a goal? Should the goal have stood? What was the what was it? And if you didn't know, like, Benfica were trying to attack Barcelona. It was a little bit chaotic in the box. I think Fermin Lopez did touch the player. The player does go down. Chesney kicks the ball out or pushes the ball out. Barcelona do scramble defending. A quick break is on. Rafinha said this himself and goes. And I know a lot of team pieces are going to be waiting like, oh, maybe Benfica should have maybe deserved a penalty at that point. Maybe Barcelona did not deserve that goal to stand. And honestly, we've been on the other end of injustices for some time now. So I'm not going to be out here and cry, woe is me. They said they checked it on the VAR. They said they count. And honestly, for one time, I'm happy to get a decision that works in my favor. I'm gutted for Benfica. Sorry that you're on the other end of the receiving, but we've been there before. So sometimes you win, sometimes you lose. And I'm sorry. It's just what it is, So I'm so excited about this game. Barcelona have qualified for the next phase of the UEFA Champions League. This was the most chaotic, most crazy game I've ever watched. As a Barcelona fan, I am so excited. As a Benfica fan, I know you're going to be so sad because, like, from the halftime, you could have never seen that you would lose this game, and I could have never seen that I would win this game at all. But here we are. Anywho, let me know what you think about this crazy remontada in the comment sections because I would love to hear what you think. But until next time, bye guys.